Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Wong. I'm one of the co-hosts today, and as I still say, I'm Simon's little brother. Always will be his little brother. I'm based in New York. He's based in Melbourne, Australia. We've got here the wonderful keynote guest speaker Enrico Di Giovanni. Welcome, Enrico.
Hi, hello to everyone.
Yes,
Hope you're all
fantastic.
safe and well.
Yes, absolutely. So it's crazy times. Another lockdown in Melbourne, I hear. So I hope that will be over sooner than later. Welcome everyone around the world. We have Dr. Hiral Shah from India. We have Dr. Justin Lee from Korea. Dr. Craig Newman from Merimbula, New South Wales. Apparently it's south coast, far south coast of New South Wales, and you learn something every day. I've heard about Merimbula, just never been. And California, Julia from California. Tell us where you're from. Please feel free to type in the chat box. That's just for general chit chat, so you can let us know where you're from. And if you want to have specific questions that you'd like to submit that come up during this presentation, this interview, feel free to include those questions inside the Q&A box. So there's two different areas. There's a Q&A box, which won't get lost in all the chit chat. And there's a separate chat box as well. So we will, the format is we'll do a good 45 minutes of interview between Dr. Simon Wong, the founder of Postural Orthodontics, and Enrico, our special guest today. And then the last 15-20 minutes, we will open up to Q&A. We have, let's see. So Kevin is joining us. Is that right, Enrico? I thought he's already...
Oh, no, he just wanted to listen in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's already registered.
We just send him an email of because he didn't have it. That's all.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just send that right now, just in case he has... Let me just send it to
He's going to participate, that's all.
A special VIP guest you'd like to join. Okay, excuse me 1 second. All right. All right, so hopefully Kevin will join us.
Yep.
All right, welcome. Let's officially get started. As it's hit the turn, it's 9 p.m. in Melbourne. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kian Wong. I'm the co-host today for this special session number 3 of our 7-week free webinar series on early intervention postural orthodontics with Dr. Simon Wong, the co-founder of Postural Orthodontics, and our special guest here today, Mr. Enrico Di Giovanni, the founder of A Point Dental. So today we're going to open up to an interesting interview. I've got some videos to show you, and at the end of the roughly 50-minute presentation, we'll have Q&A. So just for logistics purposes, we have a chat. As you can see, people are mentioning, hi, welcome Bert from Melbourne. Wherever you're from, you can type in, which part of the world you're joining us from. And it's always interesting what time it is around the world as well. So feel free to include comments and chats in there. And if you'd like to submit specific questions for either Enrico or Simon, you can do so in the Q&A box. There's on the Zoom panel, I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with Zoom, but there's a separate Q&A box as well where you can submit specific questions that come up throughout the presentation. We'll answer all those questions in order as they appear in the final 15 to 20 minutes, just so that we don't break the flow of the conversation. So please do submit your questions. We will get to them. The chat, best not to include the questions in the chat because the chat roll could get inundated with other just general comments and so on. So welcome again. Let's get officially started. I am going to do some official welcomes. Let me just bring up my presentation, share the screen. Here we go. How does that look in the slide mode? There we go. So welcome again. This is session number 3 we're up to. If you've missed the first 2 sessions, we will email you the recordings in probably by tomorrow. So you can watch session number 1 and 2. We talked about the kind of the, why is there's been such a need for this early intervention over the last, well, probably ever since really. But and the second session was with Dr. Barrowman, who was as a Max Fax surgeon. So session number 3 today. So welcome. We have 2 sponsors today. We'd like to give thanks to Dentarum Australia. Kevin, if you've joined us, a big shout out to you. And of course, Enrico from 8 Point Dental Lab, specialists in orthodontic appliances. Welcome and thank you. Actually, as mentioned, there's a whole series of upcoming presentations and free webinars next week. To give you a bit of a preview, we have Dr. Perry Burston, ear and ENT surgeon, next Wednesday. It's every Wednesday, same time, same place. We'll send reminders and so on. 9 p.m. Melbourne time every Wednesday for the next, another 4 more weeks after this one. And on the 16th, we have Dr. Susan Scher, a specialist pediatric dentist. And on the 23rd and 30th, Simon will wrap up talking about mastering the art of dental facial aesthetics and I guess the business side of, generating those, higher end $8,000 to $20,000 cases with early intervention treatments. So so those are the things coming up. And, people asking, why are you doing these free webinar series? Well, obviously we're trying to spread the word and share as much as we can with our colleagues. And at the same time, we are promoting our 2-day event in July. It's a 2-day intensive with Dr. Simon Wong, Dr. Barrowman, and Dr. Sandra Khan from California, an orthodontist from California. A new evidence-based approach to early orthodontic intervention, 145 consecutively treated cases by Dr. Simon Wong reveal the 7 steps to straighter teeth, beautiful faces, and better airways. So these 7-week series is leading up to the 2-day intensive, which is end of July, the 24th and the 25th of July. It's a weekend, virtual live stream like this. It includes the recordings, the premium ticket. You can get the recordings. You can get, in fact, you can get the instant access to last year's 2-day event. So you can get started straight away, attend the live event, join our closed Facebook group, and get support from now until October with questions. So it's an online community where you can submit your questions related to the course material. There's various bonuses I'll talk about at the end of the presentation, like over 1,000 slides and practice templates and articles and so on. And right now we're in early bird. And if you stick to the end of the presentation, I'll explain how you can get an extra $150 off for staying until the end of the presentation. For those of you interested, it comes with a full money back guarantee. You can see who's the marketer in the family. I'm handling all the logistics and marketing and the websites and the videos. So if you got any questions related to that, you can bug me. But so we'll get into that after the hour is up. Those interested in staying and learning more about this, I'll tell you about how you get a $150 discount, etc. That special code. So without further ado, welcome Simon, my brother, who's a leading expert in facial growth guidance, orthotropics, and early intervention orthodontics. He has held the position of visiting professor, co-director of the orthotropics module at the University of Valencia, Department of Orthodontics, and is a fellow of the International Academy of Dental Facial Aesthetics. The past 11 years as the principal of the Clinic Natural Smile Centre based in Melbourne, Australia, he's been focused on the correction of early childhood craniofacial development issues. A devoted practitioner for the early correction of malocclusion. He's a published author. Co-authors were Dr. Sandra Khan, GOPEX, Good Oral Posture Exercises, which hopefully you've all downloaded the free ebook version. and author of journals and textbook articles on sleep disordered breathing, with his most recent article, The Jaw Epidemic: Recognition, Origins, Cures and Prevention, published in Bioscience last year. His current clinical research at the Orthodontic Department of the University of Alberta will hopefully provide the pathway for the future of orthodontics to be focused on cures and prevention for all oral facial development issues for our children. And we're about to announce very shortly, Simon, I'm sure you can tell us a bit about that, some exciting new developments for his research with, I think, University of Texas, with Dr. Peter Bouchard, who's one of the top orthodontic researchers in the US. So it's very exciting. We'll announce that hopefully pretty shortly. So welcome, Simon.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And special guest today is our good friend, Mr. Enrico Di Giovanni, is the owner and founder of A Point Dental Lab in Wantirna, South Victoria, Australia. Originally from Italy, he grew up in New York City, where he studied a 4-year program in dental technology. He also apprenticed with the NEY Dental Lab in New York in the orthodontic department. Later, he attended the Giovanni Giorgi Institute of Advanced Dental Technology back in Italy and was the proprietor of his own dental lab until 1994. After that, he moved to Australia, where he has worked at various prominent orthodontic labs in Melbourne. And over the past 11 years, he's worked very closely with Dr. Wong, and together they have developed various designs in orthopedic expansion of maxillary and mandibular development, or what we affectionately call the Wong widgets. Welcome, Enrico.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Terrific. So over to you guys. I'm going to stop sharing and let you guys get on with the show. All right, over to you, Simon.
So I suppose it was in the early 2000s when I developed an interest in orthodontics. And in my training, I was taught that the lower arch was what we would call the anchorage arch, and that any development of the maxilla was restricted by what we could achieve in the lower arch development. And that maintaining the pre-existing lower arch form was fundamental. And it explained why we needed to take out premolars or centrals or even the so-called judicious stripping of all the incisors. We talked about the concept of lower arch development, and effectively I was told without any reservation that there is no midline suture in the mandible, and you can't expand the lower arch. And so I questioned, so does that mean there's a limit to what we can do with the upper arch? And the answer is yes. If the lower arch has to be maintained because that's the stable presenting genetic representation of a child's face, then we have to extract or we have to strip, and that the arches cannot be treated independently of each other. One of the golden rules was you can't just put braces on one arch. Extraction is a part of orthodontics, and there's no pretending that there's any other way, because there isn't. And I believed it for a very long time, until I came across 4 decades of work from Professors O'Grady and McNamara at the University of Michigan, and later on minus CBCT studies. And I realized what they knew was that the lower arch isn't a synonym for the mandible, that the basal bone and the dental alveolar bone can be deemed as very much independent of each other, even though they share the same structure. So that brings us, of course, to the holy grail of orthodontics, which is lower expansion. And there lies the 12-year crusade that Enrico and I had in our quest to seek the grail of orthodontics. I had this dream, I had this concept that I could do something with that lower arch, that I could make it my everyday working reality. And Enrico helped me make that dream a reality. So Enrico, tell me, our lower arch expander, it's a very, very simple appliance.
Yep.
Why do you think it's such a powerful appliance?
Well, because of its design, and you of course, you basically designed it. And I just realized it, really. I just put it on a model and said, okay, we can do this. But it's the ultra retentive clasps. Okay. So I basically have to give you a removable appliance that acts like a fixed appliance. So ultra removable, and then of course the expansion screw. It has to be reliable. It cannot wind back on you, because it just makes you guys waste so much time. I could imagine it makes you weeks of work, and that's not right. And that's basically it, really. You have to have reliable products and how to use them.
Yeah, so one of the things about removable appliances, unlike fixed appliances, is that they're not factory machined products.
No.
These are custom built, handmade products. So let's break it down a little bit more precisely. The clasps themselves, what's so special about these clasps, and why is it you think that the clasps that we design are so important for an appliance that's removable?
Okay, so you can use many clasps, right? But we've used a hand clasp, right? And we use the Crozat clasp, and they're great clasps by all means. But do you remember? I think we needed them to make them stronger and more retentive. But because they had their faults, they can break, they can loosen up on you. Okay, and then children play with the appliances all over the place. So we came up, remember what I said, okay, how can we do this, Simon? Do we envelope each? What do we do? Do we tie them and then saw them? And then we came up with the laser weld.
Yeah, so we had problems.
We talked about so many things. Yeah. We had problems there. And then I talked about the laser weld. But we also questioned that, because is it too strong? Is it going to go through the clasp, on the hand clasp, on the cross, or on the Crozat clasp, two wires put together? And we came up with the right ratio of laser power time. That's how a laser welder works. And we did come up with a very, very reliable clasp. Now, nothing's indestructible by all means, but it is by far a winning formula. For me, that's the best one we've had so far. And we've been using it for how long? 7 years now?
Yeah. We went
7 years.
a lot of different formulas, and some were good, some were not so good.
Some were not so good.
But so far, this has been the most consistent. We need it to be ultra tight. We need it to be able to snap down and lock in place, as if it was cemented down, really.
That's right.
We needed it not to break in too short a time frame. We needed to hold well enough that a child could eat in it.
Of course.
But not be so difficult to take out that they needed help from the parents.
We didn't invent this clasp. We needed to make it, like you always pounded in me, we needed to make it stronger and more reliable, and we did that.
And we didn't want to cement it, because one of the things that was critical to what I want is acrylic. I needed the bulk of acrylic to put pressure on the bone itself.
Absolutely.
You can't clean a fixed appliance in a way that you can clean a removable appliance. And we need something that created that consistent pressure with bulk. Because, one of the things that I've always realized is that the slimmer the appliance, the less likely it can be the substitute for the tongue, because the tongue is inherently a bulky structure. So we need the bulk of acrylic to mimic the form of the tongue. So with the fixed, we call it a fixed removable, because it was so tight that it took effort to take it out. Why haven't we seen something like this in other products? Why don't you think other people have made things like this?
Well, so what do we make? So we make basically looks like a Schwartz, right? Your classic Schwartz appliance. But when I get the models back from you to make a retainer, and then I get a model from somebody else that not their fault at all, that was wearing a Schwartz appliance, it's not the same it's not the same palette, especially on the lower. I don't get that expansion on the lower from a normal Schwartz that we do. I just don't. And I think it's because of the way the Schwartz is made. They're just normal clasps. They just, either Delta clasps or Adams clasps. It's not retentive enough. It's not part of the actual mount. When we make it tight, it becomes part of the palette, like you just said with the acrylic. I just don't get the same. I don't see the models that have the same outcome as when I get them from you or a lot of your students, people that are doing these type of appliances. I just get better at development, and I can tell. We can actually prove that. I'm willing to prove that. To bring up some photos maybe in the future of a person who's wearing a Schwartz and a person who was wearing a stage one.
Well,
Like
I mean, fundamentally, the appliances share the same principle. I mean, we haven't reinvented the wheel.
No, absolutely not.
But
No.
there's a difference between a 12-spoke wooden wheel and a 20-inch, carbon fiber alloy.
Yeah, with bearings on, of course. Yeah, of course.
Wrapped in Michelin pilot sport, plastic rubber, right? So we've just refined it to a point where we have the right amount of bulk, we have the right amount of retention, and we have the right amount of expansion. Because one of the things that was key to the lower arch was just by combination of misunderstanding and bad luck, which we turned into a good opportunity. The rate of turning, which traditionally has been a question mark, like how much do you turn it? And my not reading the specification of the screws led me to misuse the rate. And by chance, I came across, that 1/3 of a millimeter screw being optimal instead of the 1 mil screw.
The 1 mil screw, yeah.
And speaking of screws, we're using Dentarum products today.
Yeah.
One in particular called the Dentarum Hyrax Click, I think.
The Click and the Magnum, yeah.
It's been a decade where we've been using Dentarum products, and we've tried many. You talk us through the evolution of the selection of the screws that we've used over the years.
Oh God, I don't remember how many screws we did. We tried 4 or 5 different types, and they were all like prominent companies by all means, but they just didn't work. Okay, so I just want to go through some screws. So if a screw says it's got 10 millimeter of expansion, this, and we've seen this, you're not going to get the 10 millimeters. It comes to the end, it becomes floppy, right? And you just don't get the full 10 millimeters. Okay, that's how it is. There's nothing we can do about that. But, we've used so many types of screws. For me, I've been using Dentarum products for at least 33 years. I was using them in Italy. Okay, so 90% of the appliances we make, 90% of the products are Dentarum products. And I'm not going to change ever. Okay, because when something works, it just works. And you've actually proven it to me too, that it works. So you get the Click. It doesn't wind back unless you wind it back. The Magnum, same thing. They're tremendously well engineered screws. They really, really are. We've taken them apart, Simon. I don't know if you remember. Every single screw. Now on the lower, we use the sagittal screw, right? But because it's just, I don't know how to say it. It's just the way they engineer its precision. And how many have we had that have had faulty screws since we've been using Dentarum? Not many, right? They're not winding back because you would send them back immediately. I mean,
the Magnums, which is probably the oldest of the screws that they make, we did find that once we got to about 2/3 of the way through, they would start to spin back.
They would start spinning.
And then I had to use acrylic to kind of in the
hold it
chair
back. To
to have a physical stop. But that was time consuming. it works well, but it's fiddly.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
really,
And we tried the Forested Snap Lock.
yeah,
Um,
that
that
was
was
no,
that was
that
a smart. It was a smart concept, but it
yeah,
didn't seem. It
just didn't
wasn't.
seem to go through.
Yeah, it
No,
wasn't as reliable.
no,
But the Dentarum click, look, it fails like all screws fail, but
of course,
it's been a lot more promising. And
very good.
I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the product now to the point where not only are they a supplier, but a sponsor as well.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm not going to use even the, sorry, even the wires, for example, in the acrylic, I'm not going to use anything else. I'm sorry.
So I know we use their acrylics, their wires, their TAD
Yeah.
componentry, the
TADs,
devices. I know they make orthodontic pliers, lab pliers,
Yep.
which you've sworn by. They do fixed braces. They really do everything ortho.
They do everything. Well, it's an orthodontic company. It's one of the oldest. Yeah, their plies are amazing. I mean, I use them in the lab and I've had them for like 24, 25 years. For you guys to buy a pair of plies like that, I use them in the lab constantly. So does my team. But if a dentist buys it like yourself, you'll have it for the rest of your life. They cost what they cost, but that's what you get. You
So,
get what you pay for.
show some of the flyers and the videos. Kian?
Keon?
Yes, sorry, I was just, I think there was some problems with the live stream. I was just chit-chatting with people. So let me hit this, let me share. I think the live stream is okay. I think my wash was brought up. It was frozen, but maybe it was just a temporary thing. All right, let me bring up the slides. There we go. So Dentarum, you want to tell us a bit of the back history of Dentarum, Enrico?
Well, it was founded in 1886. It's one of the oldest companies. I mean, they have they've been distributing dental stuff for like 135 years.
Wow.
They have subsidiaries in Australia, Benelux, Canada, France, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, USA, of course, one of their biggest. They're represented in over 130 countries. Okay. The product range includes over 8,500 articles and with over 650 direct employees. And I'm lucky in Australia because I have Kevin. He's an outstanding professional, and just from day one we just clicked. We just really, really clicked. And then when we showed Simon, and I wanted Simon's approval on the expansion screw, and it came through. It really, literally came through. Yeah.
Terrific. So we got a couple of, a 1 minute video here. Perhaps we can just play as you can see behind the scenes of how they do some cool machinery.
The CEO is in this video. Pasha, he's a good friend.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna hit play. Let's see. Here we go.
The actual owner.
Cool. And then I think there's another short 30-second video. There is next one.
Just a screw. Yeah.
The screws, right? These are.
Yeah.
So you insert this into all the widgets, or
All the appliances. Yeah. There's three types.
Cool.
Also, the material is made out of very good.
go. Terrific.
So the materials are absolutely vital, of course, but the design of the appliance today have kind of really evolved over many years. We need that level of consistency with the manufacturing from the screw itself, and we need the wires to have a level of reliability and to withstand the stresses and strains of being bent, to being flexed. But where has that consistency in our product developed? Because we were a bit hit and miss in the early days, but after 10 years we've got very consistent products that literally look like they've come out of a factory, even though they're hand built. So how's that been possible?
Well, you remember, you used to come in all the time. Do you remember? I mean, we spent a lot of time. You used to come into the lab. I would show you how to wire bend, how not to have right angles. Okay, so basically, in an appliance, and what I teach my technicians is not too many bends while you create an appliance. So when you bend things more once, twice, then you have to rebend it again and straighten it out. What happens to the wire? What happens to the material? It goes under stress. It weakens. There's nothing you can do about it, even though it's a brand new wire, right? And that's what I teach my technicians all the time, constantly. And we try to get the same out. I want a photograph of I want the same photograph over and over again. And I don't care if it's boring. That's what I want, because that's what you should get. And to also bend it once, bend it right. Okay, check it 3 times. And you measure 3 times, you get it right the first time, right? We try that, we strive for that. And if I see, and my team knows this, if I see that they do rebend it, they throw that wire out, I redo it. I don't care, okay? Because it saves you time and it makes us look great. All right, and remember I tried to teach you how to bend. You're a good wire bender now. You're a very good one. I know you are. Soldering?
Yeah, that's a good.
You tried. You tried. I gave you. But soldering, you know what soldering is practice, Simon. Simon's constant practice. You can't, you're too busy. I mean, a dentist is too busy to do that. I know Bill does it. Bill Hang does it a lot. But yeah. But all you really need is all the colleagues, all the dentists I say out there, to get your wire bending skills up to scratch a bit. That's all.
Because I mean the soldering is important, because sometimes the clasp will fail and you need to resolder it.
Sure.
But because I wasn't that good at soldering, we did come up with another solution, right?
You mean the envelope in acrylic, or is that the one you're talking? Which one you're talking about?
Yeah, no, I played around with acrylic, I played around with soldering, but at the end of the day, we worked out how to do a 3-day turnaround.
Oh yeah. The Reed Zero, and yeah. To keep the appliance as much as we can, and of course, now the Reed Zero is good. That's it's a little trick. It's the best trick in the business as far as I'm concerned, because you don't have to pay for a new appliance, right? You give me a 2 or 3 day turnaround. You send the, like how you do it, you take the impression, send it in, so the appliance will come in 2 days. A Reed Zero is, can I explain the Reed Zero, Simon, just really quick? So a Reed Zero is, I give you the same appliance, right? You can ask for a new expansion screw in it, or same expansion screw. Of course, if I look at it and the expansion screw is still good to go. So we cut the appliance, we close the expansion screw, but we leave it open a millimeter and a half for that 2 day turnaround relapse that we're going to have. Send it back to you. Basically get, when I Reed Zero, I like basically change the whole brand new acrylic all around the appliance. So you're basically getting a new appliance, all right, for an adjustment fee. And that works. And then, of course, if you send me this, oh, Enrico, look, check the clasps a bit for me. I check the whole. It's like bringing your car in to the mechanic.
Yeah.
for a
so-
for a tune-up, for a surgeon. That's all it is. But you get a brand new appliance for $160 adjustment fee, and
Yeah.
you'll finish. And you finished with that after that, right, Simon? If I'm not mistaken. I don't see it again. Then you go on to your second phase or retention, whatever you need to go on to. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's important that we have that capacity to do
Yep.
that turnaround, because we're expanding sometimes 8, 9, 10 millimeters, and as
Oh,
we know,
yeah,
this group
yeah,
can't get to
yeah.
that full level of expansion, so
Yep.
we have to send it in to get it
Sure.
re-zeroed or the screw replaced, and having worked out that we can rewind it back,
Sure.
because you don't close it all the way down.
You don't close it all the way. Yeah, you have to wind it back.
So it's just,
Also,
it's
yeah.
just working out real world solutions for busy practices, because we need it back quick, and you can't drop everything and do an on the spot repair for us. It's not like you're working in house. So we've developed solutions for doctors who are interstate or overseas to be able to work with a busy lab.
But
And
it's working smarter, isn't it, Simon? But it's also for you guys, so you don't have to rush. You go, okay, the guy can come back in 2 days. It's fine. We can get him in. You just click it in again.
yeah,
I mean, the patient's already wearing. It's easy for you to click it in, and basically that's it. And you will get to the end of your expansion with that. So
Yeah.
I'm
so
never-
we work these solutions out by just being on the phone to each other
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, you have to talk to your lab. My dentist gets sick of me talking to him. But at the end of the day, I know they appreciate it, because that's the way you have to do. Yeah, I've been doing that all my life. So.
And we email, and
Oh God, yeah. Oh, the photo.
I draw my own designs, and
Absolutely.
you send me the images of the models,
Yep.
and we eliminate that miscommunication, because we have to design each appliance to suit the situation.
Yep.
And it's important that we exchange those photos and those emails, and that we get the progress images, because one of the things that has made it possible for us to alter things on the fly and not have to rework jobs because of miscommunication is that we communicate so heavily.
The
I mean,
design
obviously-
is The
Yeah,
design is your responsibility. So I mean, it's the dentist's responsibility. Tell me what you want, but we need to communicate. Absolutely.
yeah. I mean,
Sorry
if
for
I
that.
don't draw it, then I've got to explain it to you in 1,000 words. Why not just take a picture, right?
How many, you don't know how many times, if I had $1 for all the dentists, well, do what Simon does, do what Dr. Wong does. Okay, yeah, I will. But you need to tell me, like, I need to know information. And the very vital information, I wanted to say this, it's very important. Loose teeth. Because not everybody starts at 7 when a patient's 7 years old. I get to do designs when children are a bit older and stuff like that, and teeth are a bit loose. So where to clasp and what to do, all that. Communication. That would help. Yeah. Well, I've designed a lot of appliances for people and stuff like that. But it comes down to the point where I ask the question, what do you want? What are you doing to this patient? You have to tell me. You have x-rays, you have CBT scans, you have all that information. What do I have, Simon? I have a model. An impression of a person, and okay, the teeth look all great and strong on here, but are they? Give me all that information like you do. You constantly give me information. You constantly email me. Nothing wrong with that. I answer every email as fast as I can, of course. And it's usually, I'm pretty good at it. So yeah.
For sure. We talked a lot about the appliances, but maybe we should see them, because as we said, pictures worth 1,000 words. Perhaps we
Yeah,
can
of course.
have a look at some of the images of the work that you do for me.
Some of the appliances, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Start with the, oops. Here we go.
We're back to
Those are one of the early ones, yeah. Still do those.
How's this? Wong stage 1. You want to talk about that first?
Mhm. Yeah, that was Simon. I remember you came up with that with the curved wires, right? And I was asking Simon, why the curved wires? And then it made sense. When you expand the appliance, right, you want to still grab all the teeth as much as you can, and you just open those wires, open those curves, and the wires become longer while you're expanding left and right.
Yeah, I ran out of wire, so I
You
needed
ran out
more.
of wire. It's such a simple thing. It's not really rocket science. Of course, the rest's on the 3s and the 6s for stability. Simon, right? You came up with that.
Resistance form, yeah.
Yeah. Resistance form and the clasps, there they are. Solid. The upper's like an old Mu one, right? But we've added some, we've added a little bit of your design on there, with always with the curved wires. Now, those curved wires, I make them long now. Remember, Simon, you came up with the long one? They sort of drift down towards the palette, which is it's a nice design. I think we have a photo of that, if I'm not mistaken.
So keep moving, Cam.
Yeah. See, that's one of those are the approximating wires to keep the essentials together. Curved. That's a Wong retainer. Go ahead, Kel. Thank you. I remember the one on the left. That was, yeah. That's actually expanded that much, was it, Simon? That actually expanded the teeth that much. Yeah. And you had lingualized premolars, I remember on that one. That was a sagittal, and the one on the right is also a sagittal.
Yeah, just playing around. And
playing around a bit. It worked. It worked. They did work. They did work.
The palatally erupting
Yep.
5 that are blocked
5s,
out.
yep. Yep. Go ahead, Gil. I think there's some more. That's the active retainer there, Simon. Those, yeah. That one. We bend the wires a little bit different, the lingual wires now, don't we? Yeah. So they're easier to grab. And the lower ones are much newer ones. That's the lower one with approximating wires. Lower one widget with approximating wires. And the same thing on the upper, the Muse and the face mask hooks. Sorry, guys, I don't know if you can see the hooks there, where we place the hooks right under the cervical of the canines, Simon.
Yes, that's right.
That's where you like them, yeah?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Is there a reason for that?
Oh, it just doesn't catch the lip as much.
It doesn't catch the lip, yeah, yeah. It's more comfortable, yeah. Basically, that's it.
Yeah, so if the doctors who have joined us want to get in touch with you, your new lab is A Point Orthodontic Lab, right?
Yeah, A Point Dental Lab, there it is. So the email is lab@8pointortho.com.au, right there. Just email me whatever you want, even anything. If I don't know anything, I ask Dr. Simon Wong for advice at all times. And yeah, I'm happy to help with anything you need. Of course, I do make these appliances for Simon. I've been doing them for years. But I'm a fully equipped orthodontic laboratory. I even have digital. We have all the digital aspects of it, scanners.
You're because of the scan technology and because of the printer technology, you aren't limited to just servicing dentists and orthodontists in Melbourne. You've got doctors who send work to you from California, from Texas,
yeah, 7 different
Europe
countries.
and Lithuania.
Yeah, Lithuania, Romania, America. You got 5 or 6 states, of course. People that you've taught and lectured to, and oh God,
when back in the day they would ship it by UPS, but now it's just a scan and
Scan in 5 minutes, I have the scan. In 5 minutes, I have that right there. And I just print the model. Print the model, make the appliance. Basically, that's it. Now they're coming up, something new I wanted to tell you guys, that they're coming up with this separating fluid now that you can actually create it on the digital model. Okay, so you don't have to duplicate the model anymore. Do it on Plas, and then of course transform it to the digital resin model, and then adjust it to that model like we always do. And they still come out perfect, but very, very well fitting and stuff. But now they're coming up with this new separating fluid that you actually do it on the printed model. It's so accurate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the things that, because of my Crown and Bridge background,
Yep.
we wanted the untouched die stone model as
Sure.
reference. And, back in the day, I used to take PBS impressions.
Yeah. Yep.
And I would expect you to pour it up in die stone.
Sure.
But,
Still do that. Yeah.
one of the things that has made the biggest leap in quality control is the fact that you can print in plastic
That's right.
models. And because the plastic doesn't get damaged
At all.
by the wire work, when it snaps onto the plastic model, then it snaps in the mouth. So
Yep.
we can QC it from the lab and know that it will create a short insert time. I mean, with
You
no
can't scrape the model. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. You can't damage the model. It's a very hard resin. They're printed. So that's a very, very hard resin. And yeah, it just fits perfectly. Coming up with this new separating fluid. And now if I can do it, we're testing it out, right? That'll work. A gem. That's yeah. It's a bit more accurate. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tough ride, a wild ride these last 10 years, and
It has.
it's been good for us to have overcome the problems, so that when the other doctors around the world are requesting these appliances from you, they don't have to deal with all the headaches that I had to deal with. Because
yeah, of course. Well, we had to come up with it, Simon. We had to. You had to invent. You sort of had to invent that. That's a whole different category. That's a different.
yeah, no, it's good that
it was good.
we've been able to smooth the road,
The road.
lay the pavers, so that it's not just we don't have to recut a new path. It's laid out, and there's lighting, and there's petrol stations along the way.
Yeah, there is, and you can see the problem coming. That makes you feel good. If I get the only thing you can't see coming, and this we need to know this, but it happens very, very rarely, is a contaminated scan. Scans an email. So it can get contaminated, but very rare. I mean, think out of the thousands that I've already printed, maybe one or two. And you can tell right away it's contaminated. You can tell, yeah.
Certainly, it's nothing compared to a dried out alginate that comes.
Oh, no way, no, nowhere near it. And I told it happened twice to a person, one in Europe and the other one in LA. And I said, do you have a photo of how the appliance fitted in the mouth? And luckily they did, right? And then I said, what about on the model when I gave it to you? Do you have a photo of that? It fitted perfect on the model, not in the mouth. It's contaminated. It has to be contaminated. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Like a warped impression, basically.
No, it's good, and hopefully we'll be able to talk more in July when we go through the program itself and how we formulate the protocols of how to interact with me and you, or with any doctor who wants to use you, or any doctor who wants to support their own local labs, because it's not just about using Dentarum products. It's not just about using 8-point dental lab.
No, no.
It's about communication and using the formula that we've created. Any doctor can communicate with their local lab or their in-house lab, and
Absolutely.
you know, refine the relationship.
And we're
So
more happy to help. Absolutely. No, 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 no. That's it's just not about that. No, no, absolutely.
So,
Okay.
Ken, I think now's a good time to maybe open up the forum for
Sure.
the
Yeah, for
Q&A.
questions. So, yeah, the next 15 minutes or so, feel free to submit your questions for Simon or Enrico in the, well, either in the Q&A box or the chat as well, whichever you prefer. So, if you'd like to get started, you can also jump on the panel if you'd like. If you raise your hand, there's a little raise hand function, and if you'd like to join us on the panel, turn your video on or not, you can at least ask your questions rather than, or you can just type it in the chat or in the Q&A box, whichever you prefer. So yeah, any takers? I have about 80 people still here. So any who would like to go first? Oh, I think don't be shy. All right, let's say hello. Okay, it's always that awkward first one.
Here's a question that I have for the group. How many people use removable appliances, custom removable appliances, not factory manufactured, but technician built removable appliances? You know, how many in this group of 70? I think Scott's raised a hand. 2 people.
Actually, we got a couple of people raising hands. So if you're raising your hand, you're going to join the panel. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in Scott first, promote to panelist, and one at a time, and then Mawash, or excuse me, Masood, if I mispronounce your name. Okay, Scott's joining. All right, let me unmute Scott. Okay, Scott.
And then
Scott,
Justin has
I am
asked.
unmuted, but I'm not on videoed. So
no
that's
problem,
fine.
Scott. You can stay incognito. And good morning to you from New York. How you doing? Which part of New York are
Oh,
you?
Scott.
I'm on Long Island.
Very nice.
Beautiful. I grew up in Long Island, West Hempstead.
Oh, not too far. I'm down in Rockville Center.
Oh, yeah, Robinson. Yeah, beautiful.
You want me to say hello to anyone for you?
Please, the old bowling alley, if it's still there. I don't know if it's still there, but I don't think it is. So yeah,
Probably not.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, please. What questions do you have for us, Scott?
I've been using BioBlock and Hangs Expansor for 15, 20 years at least. Unfortunately, my original copy of Mew's book got destroyed in a flood I had in my office at one point. However, the use of the Crozat clasp I have found to be it breaks. It expands in and out. So I'm looking forward to sending my specs to my lab and seeing how they're going to do with it. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get all that and taken care of. If not, I'll give you guys a buzz and see what's going on. But
Yeah, for sure, because we found that they break, and it was only until we did the belt and braces approach, where we laser welded and then soldered on top,
Absolutely.
that we started to get more consistent results. Sometimes
I will speak with my lab guy up in Nyack and see what goes on.
For sure.
No
Pass that
problem.
on.
I find the most important thing is being a pediatric dentist is being able to convey to the children how important they are in the operation of getting themselves proper down the road, even though they may not understand that fully at 5 and 6. the parents are sitting in back of them nodding their heads, yes, yes, yes. And then on the sly, I tell the parents, you're also important.
Yeah.
Because if the parent doesn't help out, it goes by the wayside.
Yeah, just until the children can drive themselves in, they're not responsible for their actions. It's mom and dad who are.
Scott, you have a local lab, so communicate with them. I have people from New York sending me work, and I still communicate with them constantly, almost every day.
Oh, I
It's
communicate with the
easy
lab.
today.
Absolutely. It's important to keep lines
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
more than just the color pattern.
Oh, right. And if you want to send me an email of the type of clasp that they make, the appliance they make, I don't want to step on anybody's shoes by all means, but I'm more than willing to help. Okay, because I asked when we started with Simon, I asked questions to other technicians that I admire very much, in my life that taught me so much too. So it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
All right, there's some more questions. I think Jan Faber-Stumpf asked, do we make an Essex appliance to hold expansion while re-zeroing? And my answer to that is no, because what I discovered was that I could if I had Enrico not re-zero it fully, but keep the screw open a mil and a half, I could wind it back. So that, for every few days that they didn't wear the appliance, I could just wind it back a couple of turns. And eventually we worked out the right rate of turn for each missed day of wear. And you can get it back in within 30 seconds of just using a little bit of common sense and a little bit of eyeballing it. So although you can use an SX appliance, of course, I found that I could save on that expense and that time. Because all I did was rewind the appliance back. Justin Lee was asking, my lower appliance looks different to John Mew's lower stage 1. And the difference is that I have a screw in the middle and he doesn't. So John John expands the lower arch, but he uses hard locks in the stage 3 appliance, which I do as well. But my approach for postural orthodontics is to help the beginner early interventionist to manage a simple change in arch form without having to commit to John Mew's full orthotropic process. So that's why there's a difference there. Sally Sue asks, up to what age can we expand the lower canine width? And the answer is most of the kids that I treat are preteen. So I expand for all preteens. My practice is very much limited to early intervention. And the majority of children that I see sit somewhere between the age of 4 and 10. So, the canines haven't even erupted in the majority of the children that I treat. So I'm expanding before the canines have erupted is the answer to that. Now, as far as what age can you expand once the lower canines have erupted? Well, it depends on how close they are to puberty. Puberty is the body's mechanism for hardening the bones. So if you treat a child before they hit puberty, even though the canines have erupted, you can still get some nice changes. After puberty, you're going to struggle a lot more because of the hardening effects that the pubertal hormones have on the calcification of, the shift from organic to inorganic matrix, if you like, of the bone structure. And then there was
just a comment from Moon on orthopedist.
Is it from Moon? Yes.
Yeah,
from Brazil, I think. John.
Orthopedist functional.
Yeah, functional jaws.
Jaws and periodontists for 25 years. My goodness, from
Planis Bimla. Yeah.
Planis, where's that? Planis Bimla Summits Network from Brazil.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Spanish. Yeah.
orthodontist. Bimler is German. Simonis I think, is Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Perfect. So thank you for your
I think.
kind comments. Open to hear more about Dr. Wong's research. Raheb, you raised your hand. Do you have a question you'd like to type, or you'd like to join us on the panel? Raheb, I'll promote you to the panel if you'd like to join us. And here we go. You don't have to turn on your video. You can just, there you go. Let me just, you can ask your questions directly, or if I've misunderstood, you can just type your question if you prefer to do so. Okay. Any other questions?
Otherwise, well, I'd like to thank Rico for joining us in tonight's
Thank you.
session, and for all the doctors who participated in
Thank you
taking
very much.
valuable time from their day-to-day activities to listen to us chit-chat about shooting the breeze and reminiscing about life in the early 2000s.
Yeah, but before you go, if you'd like to find out about the special that we mentioned, if you'd like, we have a special $150 coupon or the special discount for those who are considering the 2-day live stream intensive in July. So if I may, feel free to stay on for just a few more minutes. For those of you who need to go, next Wednesday, we're having Dr. Perry Burston, ENT surgeon, joining us. So that's exciting. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to share my screen to share a little bit about the 2-day event that is happening July 24th, 25th. It's via Zoom. Again, it's a virtual live stream. If you can't make it, we will record it. And in fact, you can also get, as a special bonus, I'll talk about the instant access to last year's 2-day event we did in March. Just after the lockdown, we ended up transferring it from Sydney's lecture halls at EODO to a Zoom thing, which turned out really well, actually. People loved it. And so we're doing it again in July. We're in what we call early bird. It's a couple of, 7-8 weeks away. So we've got some specials happening right now. It's, we do a price jump every couple of weeks. But you can look at a short little video here about what's the program about. But specifically, if you're airway focused and you're interested in early intervention, of course, with an orthodontic base, you learn about, obviously a lot more depth about the Wong widgets. Dr. Derek Mahoney there giving us a shout out. You all have access to the GoPEX ebook. So if for whatever reason you've missed, you can always go and download it again. And also the last 3 or 4 articles and papers from Simon. So who is this for? Specifically clinicians with existing understanding of functional orthopedics and orthodontic fundamentals. If you were looking to expand your skill set into early intervention for complex skeletal malocclusions, down the track, prevention and interception-minded airway orthodontic clinicians. There is going to be 27 scientific hours of CPD credits because when you join, there's 2 options, and the premium ticket includes last year's recordings, and we have over about 10 hours of Q&A sessions that we did after the 2-day event. So there's in total about 27 hours of training there. So we have a particular method that we follow, the posture 7-step methodology for the posture orthodontics. And the time, it starts early in Melbourne because we're catering for Los Angeles, New York time zones, Asia time zones, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll start 6 a.m. Melbourne time. It'll end about 3 p.m. On both days, Saturday and Sunday, covering things like clinical benefits, retention strategies, obviously the marketing side, the mechanic side, early intervention, a lot of the theoretical side as well, and the whole important diagnosis and treatment planning. International live stream times, you can check out some of the major time zones there from 4 a.m. start, a little bit early in Asia, but at least you get half the day left. when it's all done. So it's not too bad. And a little late not too bad in LA from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. LA time, and a little bit later for New York. I think Scott, you've enrolled already. Will end a little bit later in the evening. So as mentioned, we have early bird tickets. Eventually there'll be there's two main tickets. The standard ticket is just live stream. It's just a virtual live stream. Most people are joining the premium level because it's just an extra couple $100, and you get two main bonuses. Number one, you get the recordings of the event that, pretty much unlimited access to it. There's no set time that you can't watch it again and again, but we generally say to people, we should be doing this for a couple more years, so you'll have access for a couple more years at least if you want to watch it again. But importantly, you get instant access to last year's 2-day event, which is similar. I would say 95% of the, there's some updated stuff, but most of it's similar. So those who want to get a head start and start now and go through the training, because importantly, we offer Q&A support inside our closed Facebook group for paid members only. So you can literally get started now with the training because we recorded everything from last year, 27 hours. We include in the premium ticket over all the notes. There's over 1,000 slides, research papers, practice templates, and extra videos. So that's included in the premium ticket. We also include, as mentioned, the recordings from this year that will be released, within a month of the event. And those who are interested in video marketing and building cool websites like this for your practice, and all the social media stuff that we've been doing, I'll include, that's my background in internet marketing. We'll include my course on Facebook ads and video marketing, etc. So it all comes with a unconditional money back guarantee. So I know this is maybe new, maybe not be so new for some of you people, but full guarantee. And you could literally go through last year's recording, ask your questions inside the closed Facebook group, all up until day 1 of the live event. And if you still think it's not for you, you can get 100% refund. Right. So I think if we can't be more transparent about that, a lot of people go, is this for me? I've done this, I've done that. Is this, which is ultimately, go through the website. There's a lot of FAQs as well in video format. Is there an advanced program? Absolutely. There's mentoring, there's live mentoring. There's a whole year of live mentoring, or you can do that a number of times. You can get Simon guiding you through the case studies, your own private case studies. That's in the advanced level, etc. So you can learn more about that here, and the link here. So all that's available. And the special that we have, as mentioned, for joining today is, where is it? It's $150 additional dollars off. All right. So it expires by this Sunday. So I'll give you about half the week. So the current early bird pricing is $1,397 for the premium ticket. 95% of people are joining at that level. And then the early bird, if you just want the virtual live stream without any recordings, etc. And also we give you Q&A support up until October, 3 months after the event. So if you can't make it, if you can't watch the recordings until you just lock those 2 days into your calendar and that immersion, just sit and go through the 2-day live event, you still have 3 months of Q&A support inside our closed Facebook group. There's over 120 people already in there currently going through the program. So there's good support from Simon as well as other colleagues as well. So it's $1,397. This is all priced in USD. Eventually by July, it will be $1,897. So it's a good $500 discount. But on top of that, you get, just for join, you've spent, we still have about 50 people here who are, interested in this program. If you'd like an additional $150 discount off the $1,397, and this special offer ends June the 6th, you just email us. Right? You just need to email us at info@straightteethnaturally, to screenshot that or write down that email and put in the subject header $150 extra webinar discount, please. And then it's not a coupon. It's just a manual invoice. We'll email you back, and we'll discount the already discounted early bird pricing an additional $150. So hopefully that's clear. I think another question came in here. So Scott said, I've been watching last year's offerings. Thanks again. Terrific. So yeah, that's the beauty of online training these days. Justin says, please let me watch the last 2 weeks one. Let me give you guys the link to the replay of last 2 weeks for those of you who want to rewatch. Let me just send the link to everyone. So if you've got any questions about the 2-day live stream, we'll happy to stay on for 5 or 10 minutes. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Let me give you the link to the replay of, here we go. Let me just send that link to the chat to everyone. So if you missed the first 2 sessions, put the link in the chat. And here it is. So you can see here, this link, there's no need to opt in again. If you want to share this 7-week series with everyone, it's best to send your colleagues to the free webinar series link, so they opt in and they get reminders, right? So if you want to share this with other colleagues, this free session, you can do so. That's the one to share. But once you've registered, we'll send you reminders that you can watch the replay of the first 2 sessions. This is with Dr. Roland Barrowman from May 26th. That was a good 70-80 minutes. And then session number 1 with why are so many children in need of orthodontic management airway support. That was the first one we did with Dr. Simon Wong. 3rd session with Enrico. Within 24 hours, we'll upload it and we'll put that up the very top. And then the first 2 sessions will be here. And then the session 4, 5, 6 eventually will be uploaded into this link. All right. So feel free to watch the earlier sessions as well. So any final questions for Simon or for myself? There's a quick chat there. Thank you, Justin. Thank you all. Any questions in relation to? Thank you, Enrico. I'm going to thank the sponsors.
Thank you very much.
Let's thank our. It was great. We actually getting a sponsor was fantastic. Dentarum. Thank you, Kevin. If you joined us, or if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for your support. Dentarum Australia. Once again, Enrico from A Point Dental Lab. Thank you. Thank you. We'll probably email everyone some of the Dentarum. There's a brochure, I think. So we'll email everyone that along with once the replay is up, we will send you guys an email to say, hey, the replay is up. And we'll give you a link to the Dentarum brochure as well. So on behalf of Simon, thank you, Simon, and everyone at Postural Orthodontics. Thank you,
Simon. Thank you very
Wonderful
much.
evening. We'll see you next Wednesday with Dr. Perry Burston, ENT surgeon.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank
you,
you.
guys. Thank you, Keon. Well done. Thanks,
Good.
mate.
All right. Good night, guys.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.